Sorry we couldn't have assembly for you, but we hope this video dedicated to you, America's veterans, retired or still active, will make up for it. To start us off, Emma Blankenship will tell us what Veterans Day is after all and why it is important.
World War I, known at the time as the Great War, officially ended when the Treaty of Versailles was signed on June 28, 1919, in the Palace of Versailles outside the town of Versailles, France. However, fighting ceased 7 months earlier when an armistice or temporary cessation of hostilities between the Allied nations and Germany went into effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. For that reason, November 11, 1918 is generally regarded as the end of the war to end all wars. It is important because we as people in America are paying tribute to all American veterans, both living or deceased, who served their country honorably during both times of peace and war.
Now that we know what Veterans Day is and why it is important, Danny Osborne and Lana Shipley would like to tell you some facts about Veterans Day.
Veterans Day occurs on November 11th every year in the United States in honor of the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918 that signaled the end of World War I, known as Armistice Day.
In 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower officially changed the name of the holiday from Armistice Day to Veterans Day.
In 1968, the Uniform Holidays Bill was passed by Congress, which moved the celebration of Veterans Day to the fourth Monday in October. The law went into effect in 1971, but in 1975, President Gerald Ford returned Veterans Day to November 11th due to the important historical significance of the date.
Veterans Day commemorates veterans of all wars.
Great Britain, France, Australia, and Canada also commemorate the veterans of World War I and II on or near November 11th. Canada has Remembrance Day, while Britain has Remembrance Sunday, the second Sunday of November.
In Europe, Great Britain, and the Commonwealth countries, it is common to observe 2 minutes of silence at 11 a.m. every November 11th.
Every Veterans Day and Memorial Day, Arlington National Cemetery holds an annual memorial service. The cemetery is home to the graves of over 400,000 people, most of whom served in the military.
Thank you, Danny and Lana. Those are some interesting facts. Now we will have elementary student Georgia Wade read us a Veterans Day poem.
On Veterans Day, we honor all who answered to service call, soldiers young and soldiers old, fought for freedom, brave and bold. Some have lived while others died, and all of them deserve our pride. We're proud of all the soldiers who kept thinking of red, white, and blue. They fought for us and all our rights. They fought through many days and nights, and through we may not know each name, we thank all veterans just the same.
Aw, wasn't that cute?
Earlier this past month, we interviewed some staff and students from Sedan Junior Senior High School and asked them what Veterans Day meant to them.
It means honoring the people who have served us.
Veterans Day means to me the day that we celebrate the veterans that have sacrificed their lives fighting for our right for freedom.
To me is a day where we celebrate those who have fought and who have lost for us and who have won for us. A way to remember them in a good light.
Veterans Day to me is a time to reflect on everyone who has served in the past and is currently serving in our armed forces. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't have the freedom that we all can enjoy, and also to make this the greatest nation in the world.
An honor for people who protected us.
It means the day to celebrate the people who have served and fought for this country.
This day is a day where we get to commend our veterans, and we just give them all a standing ovation because they deserve so much and they've given so much. And you know, they're the reason why we're here right now.
It's a day to where we just say, hey, you're important. You have fought for us. You're the reason why we have so much privileges in this country.
Veterans Day is a day to honor all the veterans that were in the military that sacrificed their lives for the United States.
Veterans Day to me means a day where we can celebrate and thank all the people that have served our country in the military and for making our country safe and doing the job that not many people are willing to do. I appreciate all those people that do that.
If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. We really appreciate all of our fellow veterans. Here's our junior high school principal, Mr. Reshik, to share a few words and to conclude our video.
Thank you, Ashlyn, and welcome, Sedan family. I would like to start off by sharing my appreciation with the students who participated and put together this project, and also say thanks to the faculty members who are willing to share the meaning of Veterans Day to them. As like most of you, Veterans Day is very important to me and important to this country. There have been many people who have served or who are currently serving, and some who have made the ultimate sacrifice for this country. But it is because of their dedication and their work that we are allowed to share the freedoms and liberties that we have. And it gives us those opportunities that we can participate in that other people don't have. On a personal note, I would also like to share what Veterans Day means to me. I had a grandfather who served in World War II, fought over in Italy. My dad served in the Kansas National Guard. My uncle also served in the Kansas National Guard. And then I had 3 cousins who also served in the military. So as with most of you, this means a lot because it directly affects my family. They were willing to volunteer their time and put their service in, all for the benefit of helping me. So again, I'd like to end just by saying, please make sure you remember our veterans on Veterans Day, and thanks to all of you.
Hi folks, I'm Leroy Reshik, Brian Reshik's dad, and I have with me his uncle, my brother Wayne, and his grandfather Claude, and I'll let them introduce themselves and tell a little bit about their military history. So we'll start with my brother Wayne, Brian's uncle.
I'm Wayne. I joined the Guards in 1966. I went to active duty in 1968 when President Johnson activated us. I was out there at Fort Carson for about 18 months. Joined the Special Forces, so in case I had to go to Vietnam, I would be a little more trained, ready for that. I got out of the Army at Fort Carson and come back home on a farm deferment, and I stayed in the Guards for 25 years. I went from an E1 to an E8, and I was in 25 years. I've seen lots and lots of changes in vehicles and weaponry and all that, been through lots and lots of people, changes about things in our country and our politics. And
Tell them briefly about your Recondo school, how many started and how many finished.
I went to the Special Forces School in Recondo, and it started out with around 150 or 51, if I remember right. And there was 49 of us that graduated. That it was really hard, but I was young and full of vinegar at that time, and wasn't overweight and fluffy like I am now. But it was a trying time. They get you up early in the morning, scream and shout and holler at you. In fact, I was a National Guard, and we had the 82nd Airborne Rangers, Screaming Eagles or whatever they was called, training us, and they did not like National Guard people. And I had one or two try to whip me a time or two, but I was a little salty. I didn't take a real thumping, but I held my own, and they kind of went along. That I could see there wasn't no slouch, and I was one of the 49 that made it, and some of them did not. So.
And Wayne, you also had a son that was in the Guards for how long?
Kevin was in the Guards 20 years. He went in, in fact, he went in his junior year and went to basic training, and basic training between his junior and senior year. And then after his senior year, he went to AIT, Advanced Infantry Training, artillery school, same as I went to. And they helped pay for, well, quite a little bit of his schooling. He went to wireman school, and like I say, he went from E1 to an E8, and he's out now, retired, same as me. And
I was in the Guards at Sabetha for 6 years, from 71 to 77. Started out as a truck driver. That was an artillery unit, and I ended up being a squad leader. And at the end of my 6 years, I terminated. Now, my dad, Claude, was in World War II, and you entered the service when, Dad? 1943?
Yeah.
Were you drafted?
Drafted, I was
out of high
drafted.
school?
Mm-hmm.
And then you were shipped to Italy, is that right?
Yes, Naples, Italy. I landed in Naples, Italy.
And you got seasick on the ship?
Sure did.
And then when you got off the ship, is that when you had to follow the tanks?
Yes, I followed the tanks up to the front lines.
You had to follow the tanks in order to avoid the landmines.
Yeah, the landmines.
Yeah. And tell us about some of the skirmishes you got in when you got to the front lines. You mentioned one time you got ambushed.
Ambushed 2 or 3 times, 3 times at least. That's when they come in behind you and you didn't know it. They had these doors that opened up, and they'd come in behind you. But as far as the farming is concerned, I got deferred a couple of times because of the farming operation.
Because of the farming, yeah.
The farming, but 3 of us boys and some of the men that worked in the stores in Soldier, they got deferred, but I never got deferred because the draft board come in and says, Henry, we got to take one of your boys. Which one do you think will go? You should, which one you want to go? And Dad says, I don't know none of them to go, but he says, we'll just go by numbers. So we reached in the box, and C.W. Badel pulled a number out. My number was 5280. And I was the one that went overseas, and I got terrible homesick at home, but I volunteered for anything they would tell me to do, but I didn't volunteer very little.
Yeah, now when some of your skirmishes, I think one time you said, did you hid behind a snow drift at one time?
Yeah, hid behind a snow drift sometime.
One time?
Yes.
And then one time you were saying you had some Germans try to come into your camp in a Jeep.
Yes.
And tell us about that event.
The Germans were trying to come into the camp.
They had hijacked or stolen an American Jeep, is that right?
Stole an American Jeep, but I knew they were Germans because they were driving an American Jeep and they had on German caps. So I knew there was an enemy is who they were. That's who he was trying to fight. It was the enemy.
Yeah, and so what you and the other troops do?
Kill them.
Oh yeah, we bet we killed them. Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we was pretty close range to them too. We called them a shot our bazookas we called them, but they were a weapon.
Yeah.
And but we captured 3 of them and took them behind the lines and put them in the meat wagon. The meat wagon where they come and got them and took them back, and what had happened to them, we don't know what happened to them.
And then some other times you were in a small town and you uncovered some hay or debris and found some Germans. Tell us about that situation.
Well, you hit Leroy. You guys don't know.
No, you have to tell the story. You said you saw some hay or sticks.
Yeah, and I kicked it away, and there was German prisoners underneath there, and I kicked it away and got them up and marched them off the way, and then you just turn them loose in what we call again no man's land and let them go from there.
And you had to take all their jewelry and weapons.
Yes, took the jewelry and everything.
Okay.
Whatever they had.
And then you come home. Was that 45? You got to come home in 1945.
Yes.
And you walked off the ship. And what was the first thing you said you did when you walked off the ship?
Reached down, leaned down, kissed the ground. Kissed the ground. So glad to be on American soil again.
Yeah. Now Brian had asked that we say what it meant to be a veteran, and so Wayne, do you have any thoughts as to what it means to be a veteran?
Well, a veteran is a person that served their country, and that I'm paid because I served that time, and I makes you proud to be a veteran because you serve your country, and I get to participate in salutes and the Memorial Day deal. We get to go and honor the dead because I'm a veteran. In fact, my brother and I both get to do that. That we get together and drive around to half a dozen cemeteries or more, and shoot a volley of shots and say a prayer, put a flag or a flower on the soldier's grave. We usually try to pick a soldier that was in World War II or the recently passed away who was in the military. Honor that person, and we try to have individuals, family members there who we are trying to memorialize.
Dad, do you have any thoughts as to what it means to be a veteran?
Well, like I say, I was drafted and I was proud to be a veteran. A lot of them didn't pass the examination, but I was fortunate enough that I did pass it, and I just done what I was told to do. Done little all the time because I was busy running communications to the first sergeant, and I followed the first sergeant around a lot of times to where he was going to go in his business.
I might say that Dad, he won the Bronze Star and Purple Heart, and had 3 or 4 battle awards that he received when he was in the during World War II.
Yes.
You know, to me, being a veteran means you're proud to have served your country. You did what you felt you needed to do, even though I did not go overseas. I know that people respect the position. You get the respect of the position, and I think they respect all veterans, no matter what branch they served in, whether they were a clerk or carried a rifle or rode in a tank or sailed on a ship or flew in a plane, and no matter their religious beliefs or the color of their skin. And you know, I'm glad that veterans give people a right to disagree with authority. We hope that they disagree peacefully and civilly. So we're just proud that we did what we could. I know, I believe that as veterans we kept our adversaries at bay. They know that there's always going to be an American veteran or an existing soldier there to protect the country and protect the freedoms, and we know the freedoms didn't come easy. Some people paid with the supreme sacrifice.
Yes.
So when they say freedom isn't free, that's exactly right, because there's a lot of families that don't have the benefit of returning families like we did. So to me, that's what it means to be a veteran. So thank you.
Thank you, veterans.